Hey, what's up guys? Enders here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, some interesting and kind of surprising news. We are going to get two updates in the same month. And the next update isn't just any update, it's the long-awaited Update 3.2, which includes a ton of stuff which we'll be going over in this video. The official Battlefield Twitter and the Battlefield Direct Communication Twitter tweeted this dev note blog where they kind of talk about their thoughts leading up to the class system returning to the game, Update 3.2, and just their general thoughts about the meta, balance changes, and a lot more stuff where that came from. So we'll just get right into this. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button, and if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. I post regularly, and I post way more often if there's actual content to speak about, like there is right now. And I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. Drop my Twitch channel a follow. I'll be playing in a $20,000 tournament qualifier this Saturday and Sunday. That will be live streamed 100%. And now on to the Dev Corner. The Dev Notes return to the class system, an in-depth look into the journey of returning to the class system in Battlefield 2042. One of the most important details that this dev note gives us is the fact that this update is actually going to be releasing this month. I wouldn't be surprised to hear about it as soon as next week. They start this post off with a bit of a funny statement. They say that specialists at launch were polarizing to quote-unquote some of our players. And they go on to say that people didn't like the unusual shift from the usual way Battlefield is played. They go on to mention that they formed a team of players and just people in general that were from a vast different variety of backgrounds, and they identified two key things. Number one, readability of encounters was heavily suffering due to specialists, and number two, improvement of the sense of role has to happen. Some people might be wondering, I wonder who these people are that they invited to actually playtest this stuff. And if I had to guess, it's probably a bunch of people from the EA Creator Network, maybe a few outside people that aren't from the EA Creator Network. But one thing's for certain, I didn't get invited, and I'm going to cry about it for probably about 2 weeks straight. But that's completely fine, because then they actually go into some details as to what they were thinking as far as the meta, choice, and balance of the game, the class system, the weapons, all that sort of stuff. And I have to give DICE credit here. I've actually never seen DICE use the word meta, so they're learning. They go on to say in this big paragraph that the return to the class system will definitely shake things up. Obviously, the gadgets are going to be restricted now, and they noticed that people were just min-maxing playstyles with specialists. Of course, I am just number one person that's guilty of this, because 99% of my gameplay is playing McKay with the med pen. Like, why would you play anything else? And obviously, every other person is doing that. People are playing, Rao with the Stinger, or playing listen and engineer role with, obviously having a TV missile and then a repair tool equipped and all that sort of stuff. And they mentioned that they obviously saw all that, and they just kind of provide an example by saying that Liz is obviously not able to use any of the base game rocket launchers because she has a TV missile, and they made that decision based off of their observations. And moving forward with the class system, going forward with this update actually, that is definitely something that they implemented within this class system. Another thing they mention is the upcoming weapon proficiencies that are going to be added in Update 3.2 was actually a suggestion from people within the playtesting. And they said that things like assault, things like support, those sort of weapon proficiencies were thought of by the people and implemented based off of how they kind of play. So they say assault, you're actively deciding to engage on the front lines, taking the fight directly to the enemy, though up close personal combat, while also providing brute force openings for your team to push right behind you. Of course, they complement this by adding the weapon proficiency for the assault class of having 3 extra magazines. And while we're on the topic of weapon proficiencies, I'd just like to remind you guys, if you enjoyed the content so far, I post regularly, of course, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The other weapon proficiencies, I mentioned Assault previously. Assault gets basically a weapon proficiency while using assault rifles with 3 extra magazines, being the additional perk. Engineer gets weapon proficiencies while using LMGs, and the benefit of that is you get improved dispersion, basically improved spread while crouching or prone. Support gets the weapon proficiency of using SMGs, and if you're using SMG, you get faster draw time. I'm not actually certain if faster draw time means faster sprint to fire, or faster, getting your weapon out, as in like faster weapon draw. Maybe that's something they will clarify in the future. Recon, of course, gets a proficiency while using sniper rifles, immediate, constant, and steady scope. This is extremely good, and I actually think that's probably the best weapon proficiency out of all of these. And obviously all of this is old information, but I believe this might be some new information, or maybe it's just information that I didn't read about before. They mentioned unifying your loadouts. I'll quote this here. As a part of overall changes taking place with the current return of classes to Battlefield 2042, we're also changing how loadouts function within the game. Loadouts will now be unified per class. This means that if you were to alter your choice of weaponry, class, gadgets, or throwables for Crawford within your loadout, then that same selection will be available to you when you choose to play as Boris, as both are engineers. They also go on to mention that they will be resetting loadouts to their default states when Update 3.2 comes out. They then end this post by stating that this is absolutely not the end of them working on this particular class system or any of the functionalities, and they will, quote, continue to onboard your feedback. And then they provide a link to the official Battlefield forums where I assume some sort of reading of feedback might happen. And that is going to do it for this video, guys. Really interesting to see DICE sort of do a 180 over the past 7 months. In my opinion, this is kind of a surprise. The getting 2 updates in 1 month is a surprise. The DICE listening to me on the recoil bug is a complete surprise. The competency when it comes to re-adding a class system into the game is a surprise, but I will state that it should have been in the game from launch and they should have never removed it, so it's kind of like, I don't know, do you give them credit? Will any of these changes bring back a measurable increase in player count to the game? Will players that hated Specialists before come back to try it now, even though Specialists aren't being removed? I suppose only time will tell. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate it. If you watched this point, I really appreciate it. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll pose a question to the long viewers of this video that watched to this point, because you probably cared more about the videos than the people that didn't get to this point. Do you want me to post shorts on this channel? YouTube is updating their monetization of shorts, and it should be a lot better than it was before, so they are now, quote-unquote, worth it to make. However, I understand that shorts are polarizing, and I also understand that people that watch long format content might not be as interested in short format content. But I'm also aware that people don't want to be spammed by shorts. So at most, I'll probably do 2 on days that I wouldn't typically upload a long format video. And if the shorts continue to do well, I might upload a short after I upload long format content on that same day. My shorts will most likely consist of funny clips, maybe some crazy kill streaks, just the normal stuff you would see in shorts. Maybe I'll throw in some weapon setups or just like maybe some updates in there. Just let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys later.